Hello everybody, and we're about to continue our Let's Play series of Dark Souls Remastered. Let's see where adventures can be taking us next. So in our last episode, we pretty much wrapped up the DLC. We were able to take care of acclaimed as well as Manus. And now we have to head on over to the Undead Parish and make our sad, tragic walk towards Sif, which is always the hardest part of the game. As far as the emotional weight of the moment. I think we're fine for arrows. Not sure we'll be using them too much. Kind of drifted away from the bow a little bit, I would say. But that might just be a DLC situation. Because it was probably not going to be too effective against acclaimed or Manus. This also might be our final episode, depending on how efficient we are. Because we have to take care of the portion of getting to Sif, then taking care of the 4 kings, and then once that is done, it is literally just taking care of Gwyn, and that is the end of our journey. It's been a fun journey, though. It's always a nice time revisiting Dark Souls. It's always fun trying to navigate through the forest, though.
Is it not so that thou art new? Thou fared well to find me, but cometh thee not for the grave of Sir Artorias? My advice true. Forget this. The legend of Artorias art none but a fabrication. Traversing the dark. 'Tis but a fairy tale. Have thine own respect. Go not yonder knocking for nothing, I say. Well, indeed, thou art a strange one. Nevertheless, I feel some liking for thee. I'm Alvina of the Darkroot Wood. I command a clan of hunters who track down defilers of the forest graves. What dost thou say? Wilt thou not join us? Oh, yes, I believe we would suit thee well. I am very glad. And now thou art one of us. Let us establish a covenant.
And there we go. Now we're all safe in the forest.
And here taketh this ring. If thou wearest that ring, it allows for thine summoning. If mine senses reveal intruders, then I will summon thee. Fend them off, sir. I beseech only this. I shall summon others who will, by their honor, work tirelessly with thee. Thou shalt receive great reward, and whatsoever ye shall pillage will be thine own. A true agreement, not so? But thou must heed the golden rule. The clan is thine own family. To thine kinsmen forever stay true. Darest not in any attempt to double-cross. Have no doubt, such wretchedness never will we tolerate.
Okay, all set. Of course, the stone set. Okay, now it's just a matter of making our way on over to Sif, who's right that way. We honestly don't have much to explore in this area, because it's pretty much wrapped up. And there's no real items that we would require. Just the big sad moment. But that is also why we do the DLC first. So that we get to have the kind of the secret moment between us and Sif. It's a pretty special one. Poor Sif. Can only imagine the anguish. Oh, boy. Maybe the bow's not working for us. And then Sif get the wallops in, because we kind of deserve it for what we're doing. It's always just so sad. And of course, the Soul of Sif and Covenant of Artorias. And I believe the Hornet Ring is right here. Soul of Sif, the Great Grey Wolf, who guards the grave of Artorias, the Abyss Walker. Special beings have special souls, and Sif definitely has a special soul. We also have that new ring. This ring symbolizes Knight Artorias' covenant with the beasts of the abyss. Its wearer, like Artorias himself, can traverse the abyss. And of course the Hornet Ring. One of the special rings granted to the 4 Knights of Gwyn. The Hornet Ring belonged to the Lord's Blade, Ciaran. By boosting critical attacks, its wearer can annihilate foes. And of course the grave of Artorias. Very sad. So close. Just a little more. A little more endurance. And let's make our way on over to Firelink now. Actually, don't think we need these on anymore. See, magic defense is about the same. There we go.
Forgive me. I am impure. My tongue never intended for restoration. Please, if you have any heart, leave me be. I wish not to speak.
Okay, no new dialogue there. And back to New Londo we go. Might as well use one now just in case we have to. Now our drop-off point should be over here. I always kind of lose track of this spot. I think it's right here. And down we go. Okay, now we got some friends coming out, so let's kind of lure them our way. Just to have less to deal with as we continue. Okay, now we should be able to just make our way right on over. There's nothing we really need in here or over here. Oh my god, almost fell right off. That would have been not good. Okay, we do have to switch out our rings. Kind of a cool feature. There we go. Now I believe that the Four Kings are somewhat weak to lightning and miracles in general, but we'll find out. 'Cause I am forgetting if they are. I know that they are kind of weak to fire. I assume they'd be weak to lightning, though, if I had to guess. Okay, and away we go. It's always so disorienting once you get down here, though. Okay, let's see. There we go. Okay, that's one down. Okay, that's two down. Not seeing much at the moment. There we go. Okay, one more king. And there we go. And the four kings are no more. Okay, so we have Gravelord Nito, the Bed of Chaos, or Gravelord Nito, First of the Dead, Bed of Chaos, Mother of Demons, Soul of the Four Kings Who Fell to Dark, Soul of one of the Four Kings Who Fell to Dark, a fragment of a Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Lord Gwyn recognized the foresight of these four great leaders of New Londo and granted them their ranks and the fragments of a great soul. Although this is not a full Lord Soul, it can still satiate the Lord Vessel. Then, of course, we have the Soul of Seat the Scaleless, so we are all set now. And of course, I don't think... Yeah, Koth or Kaith does not show up because we've already kind of been talking to Frampt. Oh, so close. One little bit off. You always need more endurance when you're taking on Gwyn. Back to being a warrior of sunlight, and I guess we can't just warp on over to where we have to go, or I'm just not seeing it. We no longer need the Covenant of Artorias. See, we don't really need to boost miracles, but having the Hornet Ring might be ideal. Depending how our parrying is going to go with Gwyn, of course. You never know. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. 50-50 shot. We are in human form, so we should be able to bring Solaire along.
I am pleased to see you well. Is it something urgent? Very well. Then stay still for a moment.
Oh, it's so silly, kind of just looked at Frampt hanging upside down like that. Of course, now we probably could use the extra fire protection. And away we go. we make our last run toward the end of Dark Souls. Kiln of the First Flame. It's always such a cool spot. Which is why it's always such a fun time fighting Gale at the end of Dark Souls 3. Because it just is reminiscent of this whole section. Kind of interesting too, like we have like the part of the outfit set of Gwyn's son, Gwendolyn, as well as one of the shields of his knights, so it's kind of just interesting. Black Knight Greatsword, cool. Okay, another Titanite chunk. Okay, the Black Knight set. Which I wonder... Okay, so that's 9.2 in weight. Oh, we actually have better fire defense with our current setup. Okay, we'll come back for Solaire, of course. Though it feels like every time I bring Solaire along, it never goes well for us. We tend to like die immediately, which is always kind of sad because it's like trying to bring a Solaire along for the big end. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god. It almost went terribly. Okay, another Black Knight shield. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, we should be all set now. We just gotta backtrack a little bit and pick up Solaire along the way. And then face Gwyn and see how it goes. It goes well if you can get that first parry off. It tends to flounder if you don't. And that's kind of like a 50-50 shot. For me, anyway. Especially because we're not using our parrying shield. We're using the Black Knight shield, and while great for fire defense, it's not as great for parrying. It's just okay. You gotta be very subtle with it, though. Target shield is, of course, much better for parrying, but not great for the rest of what Gwyn does. Okay, let's see how it goes, Solaire. Traverse the fog. Oh, we didn't get it. And we're not doing any damage to him, of course. Oh, Solaire's in a worse spot. And there we go. Our friend till the end, Great Knight Solaire. And of course, we have now the Soul of Gwyn. Soul of Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight and Cinder, who linked the first flame. Lord Gwyn bequeathed most of his power to the gods, and burned as cinder for the first flame, but even so, Lord Gwyn's soul is a powerful thing indeed. And now we have our two options here. We can, let's see, kind of take our spot and relink the fire, or we can walk on out. Decisions, decisions. Let's just make our own path and be done with the whole thing. The whole family of Gwyn. And there we go. Continue the rest of our journey without Gwyn's influence. To be free from it all.
Bless thy safe return. Let Garth and Fraft serve your highness. We are here to serve your highness. True dark be cast upon the world. Our world hath returned.
And there is Dark Souls Remastered. Another journey, another amazing time. It's fun to revisit, like, about once a year. It's just a nice time. And some new things we picked up along the way for this one. Dabbled a little bit in miracles. Tried a bow for like the first real time to actually use it as one of the main weapons. It did get a little tricky to use later on just because the speed with which the bow was not ideal with some bosses. But the spear did pretty well for most of the game, I would say. Like, the first half of the game we used our Divine Partisan. Worked out great, but then as the game went on, switching over to the Winged Spear and just keeping it all physical damage, and then adding a little Sunlight Blade, it did pretty well as well. Now, we did kind of goof up the quest line with Rhea, but in the end we still got a pretty good experience with her and her compatriots as they went down to the Tomb of the Giants. Trying to think of anything else. I think that might be about it as far as the experience as a hunter, as far as using the bow for a lot of the game. It is fun, it's just that the arrows miss sometimes because of the targeting. And the Dark Moon bow doesn't do a lot of damage, it does some damage. Also, the Moonlight arrows are just so expensive, they're like 500 souls per arrow, so you don't really want to invest too much in that because it's just so much farming involved. But overall, it's still a fun time to try to use that kind of setup, especially if you have support with the miracles. But in the end, a trip through Dark Souls is always an amazing, wonderful trip. And I can't wait for our return and have a whole new experience in our next one. Though, our polling did lead us to have to craft a new build for a Dark Souls 2 playthrough, which should be a lot of fun, because we've tried so far for Dark Souls 2, we've done the Faith build for our first playthrough, and then we did a Hexer build for our second playthrough, so we'll have some new options for our third one, and see if that's just as much fun as our first two playthroughs were of Dark Souls 2. But that is going to about do it for this one, as the somber, sad, beautiful music plays out. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll be talking again real soon.